Okay, I will get started with roll call. Let me make sure it's recording. Yes. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. So we'd like to remind everyone this meeting is being recorded. We do ask that you please rename your Zoom name to your full name and the organization you're with. And if you're a resident, please put the letter R. And for roll call, I am going to go down the list as it appears on my screen. And when I call on your name, if you can please just unmute and say which organization you're with. And then at the end, I'll be introducing those on the call from the Port of Stockton. First up, we have Chuck.
Good afternoon, Chuck DeYoung with H.J. Baker.
Hi, Chuck. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
And then we have Margot.
I'm here. Hi.
Hi, Margot. Welcome. And Raul.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks. Welcome, Raul. And Chris Cannon.
Hello, everybody. Chris Cannon, Edible Schoolyard Project.
Hi, Chris. Welcome. And Hector.
Hello, everyone. Hector Olivares from Catholic Charities.
Thank you. Welcome, Hector. And Esperanza.
Good afternoon. Esperanza Bielma with Office of Mayor Fugazi.
Welcome. And Jasmine.
Hi, everyone. Jasmine Peterson, use she, her pronouns with Little Manila Rising.
Thank you. Welcome, Jasmine. And Kai.
Hi, I'm with Little Manila Rising.
Welcome. And one moment. Then we have Mary Elizabeth.
Mary Elizabeth, Delta Sierra Group,
Thank
Stockton
you.
resident.
Thank you. Welcome. And Pat.
EJCW, hello everybody, and Mineral Baths Community Gardens.
Hi, Pat. Welcome. And we have Margot.
Oh, you already called me, but I'm still here.
Oh, sorry, Margot. Hi.
Hi.
And Rocio.
Hi everyone, Rosia with the Valier District.
Thank you. And Shazad.
Hello, Shazad with Little Manila Rising.
Thank you. Welcome. And Tim Robertson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tim Robertson with the San Joaquin Building Trades Council, and I'm a Stockton resident.
Thank you. Welcome. Okay, and I don't think I missed anybody that is on there outside of the port. Oh, and we are admitting Christopher Margos. But while he gets joined in, those on the call from the Port of Stockton are our commission chair, David Atwater, our commissioner, Margaret Stevens, Port Director Kirk DeJesus, Jeff Wingfield, Deputy Port Director of Regulatory and Public Affairs, Jason Cashman, our Director of Environmental Affairs, Victoria Lucero, our Public Relations Coordinator, Karen Romero, our Environmental Coordinator, and myself. And if I did not miss anybody, I will turn it back on over to you, Jeff.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody. So today we'll be providing our standard port updates. Also have thank you to Chris Cannon for joining. He'll be providing an update on the Edible Schoolyard. And then Tim Robertson and Raul from the Building Trades will provide an overview of their organization and the important work that they do. We meet with them regularly, and we were just thinking how they've had some really exciting things going on lately with some of their trainings, and they just had a class, an all-female class that graduated. The port did send somebody there, so it's really exciting, some of the work they've done, and I thought it would be great to share that with everybody. So in the meantime, over the last month, we've had Central California Asthma Collaborative and several other organizations. This tour and meeting was put together by Matt Holmes. They came to the Port Sierra Club. Mary Elizabeth was there, Restore the Delta, Little Manila, Catholic Charities. So they were out here August 21st. So I gave them a port overview. and then a tour. And I think it was really well received, and we got really good feedback from those groups. Is there anybody on the tour that wanted to share any additional information or any highlights that you thought?
Well, I guess I'm here. I can't remember what the gentleman's name is, but oh my gosh, you know, he was so excited, you know, to share some of the work that he had done, you know, in other places when he came back to Stockton. And so, you know, I left, and I can't remember what his name is. You know, I may have seen him around.
That was Joe Carrillo. He's with SSA. He joined. They're one of our partners on our zero emission efforts, and so I had him join to kind of explain his side of the story from SSA.
Well, I just was left, you know, hopeful, you know, that a way can be found to, you know, make the changes necessary so that, you know, the port can be wholly beneficial to our community, you know, without the negative impacts associated with the continued pollution into the neighborhood. So, you know, I felt very helpful, you know, hopeful, you know, so I just share that because that was good. It's good to, you know, get the joy and the hope up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we are making good progress. And then so then we had the California Hispanic Legislative Caucus. They were here a week later on the 28th. That's a picture in the bottom right. So we were able to give them a tour and show them similar things to what we showed the Asthma Collaborative. Is this all of our different efforts on zero emission technology, workforce development, and our community efforts. So that was really well received by them as well. Just today, we had the Port of Stockton Employee Association. We gathered wish lists from all the teachers, and we're able to provide and deliver them with the school supplies that they need to get off to a good year over at Washington Elementary. And Julia or Victoria, if you wanted to say anything else about that today, I wasn't able to come over there.
They were just really appreciative that we were able to do this again for them this year. And they really looked forward to our visit today. We didn't get to see any of the kids, but they were there. And the new principal was really excited to get these school supplies today.
Great. And then if anybody was watching the board meeting on Monday, the board approved the purchase of 4 new zero emission forklifts. They are going to, you know, I think I've shared the challenges with this group and the AB 617 group many times about the issues that we've had with some of the light duty forklifts that we got that were zero emission. You know, there were a lot of failures with sensors. There were issues with being in the warehouse where it was a little bit more dusty. And so over the past 2 years, we've been trying out new technology, new manufacturers. And so our maritime group has settled on some Noble forklifts that, so we were able to purchase 4 new zero emission forklifts. So that's another great testament to our movement. And then also the Corps of Engineers is actually in the middle of channel dredging right now. So if you're out on the water, a little bit further down towards Antioch at this point, but you will see dredging efforts there. And I asked Jason Cashman, who's our Director of Environmental, to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so as I think you all are aware, the ship channel, the Stockton Deepwater Ship Channel, is a federally authorized channel, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has the responsibility to conduct annual maintenance dredging activities on the channel. And so they contracted with a dredging contractor this year, and that contractor started dredging about 3 weeks ago. Currently, they are, you know, like Jeff said, they started in Antioch area. Currently, they're just east of Bradford Island, and they will be moving, and they're placing the dredge material on a port-owned dredge placement site on Bradford Island. And in the next about 5 days, they'll be moving their placement right, their placement location to Roberts Island near the Port of Stockton. And so they're doing mechanical dredging, which is clamshell. So essentially they just place the dredge material on the barge, and then they'll move the barge up to the dredge placement site and hydraulically pump it off the barge into our placement site. And in many cases, we beneficially reuse that material. So it's a great opportunity to have beneficial reuse of dredge material. And they anticipate completing the project mid-October.
Great, thank you. And so, as you know, we're coming into fall. We're coming into the rainy season, and that's when we really start to focus our efforts on stormwater runoff and what that looks like, and making sure that our tenants are prepared, because they've got the majority of cargo that could potentially end up in storm drains. And so, not only with our daily monitoring and daily rounds and inspection, we also hold some trainings for them to prepare and get ready for stormwater season, make sure that that's on the forefront of their mind. And Karen was going to say a couple things about the stormwater training efforts.
Wanted to provide an update. We have provided stormwater training to our staff, some of our staff members, mostly the guys out in the field. And we have training for the staff coming up in early October. We already held one tenant training session. We hold 2 every year for them. It was well attended. We had about 15 folks from about 8 different tenants show up for the first training. And then our second one is scheduled for October 1st for the tenants.
Great. Yeah, so we just really start to highlight that and put out little reminders to folks to be more mindful of where you store certain things, clean up outdoor areas that are uncovered. We also train our port police as first responders, because they are out there and active and typically are first on scene. So we've got spill kits putting in their cars so that they can throw some best management practices down in the effort that we're delayed for any reason. So very good stuff. Then we've got coastal cleanup coming up this Saturday. Hopefully folks can join us. We're going to focus on the Edible Schoolyard area. We're going to do some work for those guys. And then if there's any runoff or other opportunities, we're going to do some other additional cleanup in Boggs Track. So it'll be kind of the similar situation. We'll be out Saturday from 9 to 12. And we hope we'll see some of you out there. We've also been pushing, and we did meet with the new director from the Boggs Track Community Center earlier today. And so we're asking them to be able to, we want them to know that we're doing that, and that see if they can also get some of the residents to be more involved as well. Because we see a lot of them peeking over the fence and excited about what we're doing. And we want them to realize too that they can come out and join us and be a part of it. Yes, Mary Elizabeth.
Thank you. So, I've been taking around in my backpack, a stack of those AB 617 filter flyers. And, every single resident in Boggs Track should have one, and I was talking to Heather over there at the Air District today. And she said, like even like a driver's license or an ID. And I was wondering if it might be possible to, when you have these events to, maybe I can get together with the staff and Rosio, I think I saw her here, that we can, go through how to do it. And, maybe the port can go out there, with some laptops, and just sign them up so that they can get the air filter.
That's another good
I'm
idea
just
too.
like every single one, should have one.
Yeah.
And so I'll follow up with you on that, because it just got to thinking about it, because I contacted Heather and was talking with her, and that you're going to have, you want to get the community center and the people involved, and what better way to have like the afterglow of a community event with the Port of Stockton, to have an air purifier come to your home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have been pretty active in putting the that information into our newsletters, pushing it out to our tenants and to our employees. But yeah, that's a good point. Like, there's probably between the school and the community center, making sure that they definitely have access to those flyers and that they are getting the word out.
Yeah, but it's more than just access to the flyers, you know. I mean, it seems like there needs to be just a little bit of, you know, I don't want to say hand holding, but you know, support.
To get them signed up?
Yes.
Well, the good thing is at the community center, they have access to all that stuff, so they can actually sit down right there, and some of their staff could help them.
Okay,
you know.
well, I'll cruise by there, you know, with my flyers and talk to them.
Yeah. Because we've talked to them about the jobs board, and they are willing, and they have folks that help them sign up for jobs and look for jobs all over the place. So I'm sure that they wouldn't mind helping people sign up, you know, for the free air purifiers as well. Yeah, Rocio, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Jeff. And yes, Mary Elizabeth, our team has really appreciated you, doing some outreach in the community and handing out these flyers to residents. And also just to confirm what you said, in order to apply for the Clean Air Rooms program, the only requirement that we ask for is a proof of address. So yes, it could be a driver's license or anything that has their name and current address on there, as that's where the air purifier will get shipped to. And in case that any folks have any questions, like the folks that are receiving the flyers on how to apply themselves, or if they need any assistance, the office phone number is on there as well. So they're more than welcome to give our office a call, and they'll be connected with one of the specialists or someone on our team as well, and we can walk them through the process of how to do that. But yes, if anyone ever needs any AB 617 Clean Air Rooms flyers, we're more than happy to send those out.
And just a real quick shout out to Hector, because I give thanks to you for bringing up the issue of the apartment. So hopefully that's going to get resolved. But thank you so much, Hector, for that. That was good.
Yeah, and I think, Hector, wasn't it your group who was doing some work to hand out air purifiers at Earth Day as well?
Not this Earth Day. Getting people signed up, but we were working with being part of the AB 617. Definitely trying to get people signed up for it.
Got it. Okay.
I think that was that university group.
Oh, it was? Okay.
We made those the handmade ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that, Hector? Was that?
That was UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
And they're one of our partners too that we work with all the time.
Got it. And then, so hopefully we'll see a chunk of you on Saturday morning. And then the only other thing that I had to discuss was Washington Elementary clothing drive is ongoing. So if you are cleaning out anything at your house and you have extra clothes, they are much needed over there. And then we also talked to the community center. Anything that doesn't fit perfectly over at the school, we're taking to the community center, and there's additional needs that are over there. And what we found out today is, even if they don't utilize everything at the Boggs Track Community Center, they coordinate with the other 5 community centers locally and share resources. So really good stuff. So if you can donate anything, new, used, whatever the case, please do, and please reach out to Julia to do that. All right, Chris, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate what you guys are doing over there at the Edible Schoolyard, and we hear you have some updates for us.
Yeah, just a few updates, and thank you for the time. First, we look forward to having y'all come out on Saturday. My farm manager, Tanya Jowers, is planning a full day for y'all, so the time will go by very fast, and we look forward to having you out there. Just a couple of small updates is that one of our requirements is to do 4 farm festivals a year. And so our last farm festival was held early August. We had about 300 community members come out from all over the city. But tracking the data, it looks like almost 30% of those came from the Boggs Tracks area itself. So that means that the word is really getting out in the community. So we're very proud about that. The reason why that's important is because As you know, that community is in a food desert, and so now that they know that we're there, we're able to provide them for produce bags on a Wednesday CSA, or if we just have extra produce around, we'll do like you pick days. And so I'm really proud of the team for just getting the word out there of who we are and what we do to the central community. Our next farm festival is going to be October 18th. That's our last farm festival for the year. That's usually our biggest turnout. It's our fall fest as we get ready for the Halloween season. Lots of children will be out there. We have a book exchange where people can exchange books. We have a kitchen exchange. People could bring old kitchen stuff. Like one person brought a microwave and exchange it for an apron or whatever, right? So whatever you don't need in your kitchen. We have many vendors out there. So resource fair as well. We have another org called Girl Trek, where you're able to walk around the farm. They promote healthy living, healthy eating, active living lifestyle. It's just a day to be on the farm, right? To have fun in the greenery. So that's our last farm festival of the year, October 18th, from 10 to 1. Once the flyers are complete, I will send it to the group to help get the word out. And lastly, thanks to our relationship with the Port of Stockton, we're in the process of trying to get a well built on the farm. This well will be for lack of a better word, a game changer for us because, as you know, we have so much green space. But with a lot of green space comes a lot of water being used, which comes with a large budget for the water bill. And so, with the well being put on the farm, we're able to utilize some of the more green space. So, we're looking at proposals and figuring things out about electricity. But hopefully that well will be built by the end of the year so that we're able to utilize more of our space. With that being said, that's all the updates I have today. I appreciate that. And if you have any questions, I look forward to taking those now.
That's great. Mary Elizabeth had something to do with that well too. She kept bringing that up, and we appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's right.
Getting closer and closer every day. So yes. And yes, I'm in the process of trying to get pumpkins. It's actually funny. We grew a lot of pumpkins, but due to the weather this year, our pumpkins were ready to harvest way sooner than expected. And so now it's too late for us to have them for the festival. So I'm looking for another org to provide us with pumpkins that day. We're in the process of that right now.
Okay. Well, let us know too, Chris, because we've got a couple contacts that we
Okay.
might be able to help with as well.
Sounds good. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Okay. Tim and Raul, we really appreciate you guys being here. As I mentioned previously, we appreciate the work you guys are doing and thought it'd be great to share that with the team. And so please, we appreciate you guys being here. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. And thank you, everybody from the port, and especially all of those representing our community here today. Really excited to be here. I know I've worked with a lot of you before, we have, but I think it's nice to take a step back and kind of do an overview of what we do as a Building Trades Council. So we're really proud of our work, and so when you see us around, you know what we're up to. But to start, we are so the San Joaquin Building Trades Council represents 19 local union construction affiliates and about 12,000 apprentices and journeymen, journey people in San Joaquin County and a couple of smaller counties as well. So we have a couple of major buckets of work that we do, including providing more work opportunities for those members, and then also helping bring more individuals into the union training pathway, which is our apprenticeship program, which I'll share with you a little bit more in a second. But I think the thing that I really want to start with here is just the big picture of this is that union construction careers are just amazing careers. After your 4-year apprenticeship program, you will have waged up to an average of $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, depending on which trade you're in. And full benefits from day one. That's full health care for your family, pension, often other various annuities, really just kind of the full benefit package that you really don't see very much anymore, particularly in the private sector. And then the flip side of that is while these are increasingly rare careers that are available to residents of San Joaquin County. We have about the lowest requirements, the lowest barriers to entry to these careers of really just about any other career out there as well. So effectively, generally it's high school diploma, driver's license, eligible to work in the United States, being able to pass a drug test, and then just being able to show up on time every day and working hard. Like those are the qualifications to be a union tradesperson. And if you do all of that, you are going to do really well in our process. And stay off your phone as well. That's something that we always include as well, because it seems to be one of the barriers for a lot of our young people these days. So, but all those are things that really anybody can do if they've got the right mindset for it. And given that there are few pathways to six-figure careers, even with a college degree, and other various job training programs that might be out there, we take our opportunity to grow these career opportunities and help individuals learn about them and earn their way into these pathways really, really seriously. So that's why when, as a council, when myself and our president Raul and our other representatives are out there, that is what is driving us. You can take it from Raul and many of our members, our union leaders, everybody that shows up volunteering or working to advance our organization does so because they had that chance at some moment where their life changed. We often, talk to our members, and it's, the key turning points in their lives, or, maybe when they got married, or when they, the birth of their children, and when they signed their union card, because it was the point where all of their economic dreams that maybe they didn't even bear to dream became more likely to occur, and going from a path of struggling to meet the bills and rent every month to being able to comfortably afford to have kids and make sure everybody has food and clothes and all the opportunities. It's the American dream. So that's why we do what we do on a day-to-day basis. So to pull it back a little bit, we do this in two major ways. So the key one is the first one is to help build more work opportunities for our members. So we do that broadly by encouraging construction, and then encouraging a larger percent of that construction to be done by local union members. And I think that word local is key here as well, because our promotion of these opportunities is all about getting opportunities for members that live in San Joaquin County to do work here. And for a group that's focused on the environment, if our members are not working here, they're working in the Bay Area, or they're working in Sacramento, or they're working in Reno, and often they're driving every day. And they have all of those extra emissions that come with the transportation that makes the construction industry work. So when we're trying to build more local union construction opportunities, it's so that our members can work here and get those great opportunities to drive 10 minutes to the port, as it were, and drive home 10 minutes, and maybe even pick your kids up from school, and certainly be able to, hopefully go to a PTA meeting, or help your kid with the homework, or coach a team, or go to a community meeting or a town hall or what have you. All those things that a lot of our commuters don't get to do because they're spending so much time in the car every day. So we broadly do that by making agreements. And some of you might be familiar with the concept of a community workforce training agreement. So we have policy agreements with the city of Stockton, with Stockton Unified, with Delta College, that all of their qualifying construction projects are done prioritizing local union workforce, which means that instead of often contractors coming from out of the area or even out of state, and sometimes bringing their own workers with them to get the prevailing wage, and sometimes taking all of those wages back with them to invest in other communities, we're making sure that those capital investments in these school districts and cities are making are also investing in our local workforce, so that money can be recycled into the community and going to our local small businesses and restaurants and what have you. Obviously, our members love to have local work opportunities so that they can spend less time in the car, and more times in with their families and with their communities. But the other key part of this is that as we're expanding work opportunities, we are able to expand our training opportunities and bring new people into these careers, which is kind of the second big bucket of what we do that we also take really seriously. So hopefully most of you know what a union apprenticeship program is in the construction industry, but we call it the other 4-year degree, where effectively once you get into an apprenticeship program, and we have 19 of them, Raul's with the plumbers and pipe fitters, so they have their own. You may have heard of the electrical workers. We have iron workers, elevator constructors, sheet metal workers. The list goes on. But we consider getting into this apprenticeship program like kind of that life-changing moment, because it's when you are on your earn as you learn pathway to that full journeyman career, journeyperson career in union construction. Importantly, on day one in your apprenticeship program where you're beginning to learn your trade, you are getting paid. A brand new apprentice, which can be 18 years old, just out of high school, is going to be making about $25 an hour, depending on what the trade is, with about every 6 months making about 5%, about a $2 an hour raise until 4 years and reaching that full journey worker status. So that's the other 4-year degree, is that you have a 4-year, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5, but usually it's a 4-year training that is like college, except instead of maybe pulling out a whole lot of student loans and maybe having a degree that is taking you into an uncertain work expectation, or even having student debts and like very bad career options, that we have no student debt and you are already in your career. When you graduate from your apprenticeship program, you are just a fully trained plumber or pipe fitter or a fully trained electrical worker that is already working in your field. So if you think about what happens when you're 4 years in an apprenticeship program versus a college, sometimes a lot of our apprentices have already put their down payment on a house, and they're just ready to just move into this financially comfortable period of their life. And start, contributing to their community, and paying taxes for folks that want to hear about that instead of relying on services that they might otherwise have to rely on. These are, the apprenticeship program is really the crown jewel of our workforce development system, as we can take individuals from just really basic skills to like a highly trained journey worker in a variety of fields. Which is why the union labor is so high demand, because we have this really rigorous training process that is actually a partnership between the unions themselves and the contractors. So the business interests and the workers' interests are aligned in making sure that we're training individuals with the right skills for the construction of the future. The cool thing that we get to do as the San Joaquin Building Trades Council is run the MC3 Apprentice Readiness Program, which is what Jeff was mentioning a second ago. And it's actually pretty rare for a Building Trades Council themselves to run this class. Often they kind of have a nonprofit do it, or an educational entity, or what have you. But for us, it's really important to the fiber of who we are and the values of our leadership and our members that we run this program ourselves. So this is the effectively, there's 19 apprenticeship programs, and they all have different application processes and tests and timing and different kind of skill sets, different abilities that you might need to succeed in them, that someone seeking a career might not really be able to navigate, how to apply to 19 different entities. So we have this apprenticeship readiness program, which is a full-time 6-week class that gives anyone who has the desire to do this off the street, assuming they meet, the basic requirements, everything they need. We get them tools, we get them boots, we get them OSHA certification, Red Cross certification, a lot of the skills that they use with the tools. They'll do some carpentry, some electrical work, some piping, really get that baseline of understanding of what it's like to work with tools, and then get at least 10 or so presentations from the various apprenticeship programs to make sure that they're applying and getting accepted to the program that's right for them. We also help with testing and with applications and interviewing and all these kind of soft skills that are often barriers to people. But we have that class, which, as Jeff mentioned, we just had a graduation a couple weeks ago, and we use that very intentionally as a way to help individuals who are not who don't necessarily have the traditional pathway into the union construction trade. So so long ago it was kind of, you know, did you who does your uncle know about it, or did you marry somebody that knows about it, or what have you? It's very much not like that today, but we still have a lot of work to do to educate individuals that this pathway is really available to everyone, particularly individuals from disadvantaged communities, women, veterans, people that are justice involved. All of those entities, all of those individuals are people that are priority for us to recruit to bring into these trades. Because like I said, we have the best careers with the you know, lowest barrier to entry. So we know a lot of these individuals are going to have barriers themselves, but if we can get through these, you know, transportation, childcare, getting their paperwork in order, then they are going to be right on this pathway. And again, show up on time, work hard every day, and you're going to succeed. So these programs are typically, I haven't looked at the numbers recently, but at least 80% people of color. We do a lot of work recruiting individuals in South Stockton. Jeff mentioned we actually recently did an all women's cohort. So we had 15 women, which if you think about the construction industry, it is a historically male industry. There's no reason for that. We have a lot of really successful women in our council. We have our vice president is a woman. We have several business representatives and their locals, training directors that have had really fulfilling careers. Yet the average woman coming up and doesn't necessarily see union construction career pathway as something that is available to them. So we've really done some aggressive work in recruiting women and making sure that they understand that these opportunities are there. Many of them have already been placed in apprenticeship programs and are thriving. And on a side note, we're actually starting a new program where we're working on retention and like the worksite culture aspect of being a woman in the industry to help women who are already in deal with some of the challenges that that they might face along their careers as being, you know, maybe one of the only woman in their apprenticeship class for now, or the only woman on the job site, what have you. So we want to build a network of women that can support ourselves to do that. We also just recently had a class that was, it was 15 students. I think 12 of them just graduated from Stockton Unified. So we had a big partnership with Stockton to recruit graduating seniors to go immediately into this MC3 class to hopefully be immediately into their apprenticeship program. You know, these are individuals that were not planning to go to college and didn't necessarily have any idea what they wanted to do upon graduation, which, as you all know, is a pretty vulnerable moment. You know, you're 18, you had to go to school for the last 12 years and you got to the end, and now what? Am I going to get a minimum wage job, or am I going to get in the mix, or what have you? So we feel like this is a really important moment to recruit individuals and make sure that they know that this career path is available to them. And it was a phenomenal class. And I tell you, if you start at 18 and you retire at 55 with 37 years of union pension contributions, you're going to have a pretty good life. So we also started a program in the San Joaquin County Jail, like actually in the jail, about 1.5 years ago. We've done 4 cohorts where individuals that are approaching reentry are getting this exact same 6-week class with tools and power tools and everything inside. So they're getting a running start on their ability to find the kind of job, apprenticeship opportunity, especially that's going to help them meet the economic needs that are so challenging for people that are returning from incarceration to meet. That is a really strong driver of recidivism. So just one stat that we share is that from the San Joaquin County Jail, unfortunately, about 75% of individuals that are released from San Joaquin County Jail end up back there. We've had about 40 students in our class so far, and only 2 have returned. So for a variety of reasons, I think the cultural significance, the actual training, the job placement, the confidence, the willingness to invest in themselves. We are in the early stages of this. We think we have a really good model of how to help people really re-enter and stay out and get that job and take those steps that they need to make it so that they can continue to grow their lives on the outside. So in the end of this, when we're out there trying to create more agreements, which by the way, we also create agreements with private entities that are investing in our community. You might be familiar with BWC Terminals or Stockton Soda as entities that are investing hopefully here in the port. We have agreements, partnerships with those entities, and they've agreed to hire our local people to build these industrial projects, which they do both because they believe in Stockton and want to invest in local, and they want to be long-term partners here, but also because they know that we have the best workers out there and they want a high quality of labor for these really important projects. But when we're signing, when we're developing those partnerships with public and private entities, it's part to help our members get the jobs here locally, but it's also to provide more opportunities in our apprenticeship programs and our apprentice readiness programs, so that we can bring people in from a variety of backgrounds to have these types of opportunities and careers, which as many of these type of opportunities aren't available to a lot of people in especially in disinvested communities, South Stockton. And when we're starting to get individuals that are kind of turning their economic lives around and spreading the word, we're getting folks who go through our class, get in the apprenticeship program, and then they're recruiting 3 other people to go through our class, and then they're getting in apprenticeship programs. What we're really talking about is some pretty significant community-based workforce development that is really life-changing. And as we continue to do this, we're already seeing a lot of really great benefits for the economy of the city and the county. And our philosophy is that good jobs are good for everyone. And the more we do that, and I would also say for a lot of the advocates on here, it's a lot easier to pay attention to the environmental concerns that are in your community if your economic needs are met. So I think there's a lot of really strong alignment between, I would say without a doubt, some of the economic challenges that our residents face with some of the environmental challenges as well. So I think there's a great deal of overlap in those spaces, and I know we've partnered on a lot of things and we look to do more, but that's the broad strokes of what we do. And I see Pat has a question, but I wanted to just see if our president, Raul Hernandez, had anything that he wanted to add real quick.
Thank you, Tim. No, the only thing I'll add is these apprenticeship programs just touch a little bit on what they actually are, right? And in these apprenticeship programs, it's an earn while you learn model. And the great thing about it is that there's no experience necessarily required when you get into these programs. So, I mean, the requirements that we have are minimum, but none of them are related to whatever craft you are saying, because in our industry, we say the less you know, the better. That way we could train you in the proper way and proper manner. And the difference between our schools is, for example, if you're going to the plumber's apprenticeship, you can learn everything there is to know about the piping industry, from the most minute things to the most intricate standards that are there. Learn about thermal expansion. Learn about, I mean, this is not a thing where usually a lot of people, we have that mindset that those guys are a bunch of dumb construction workers, and that's not what we're about. We're educated people. Our educational program, as far as the apprenticeship, we take that seriously. We send our instructors every year for a week to get up to date on the latest and greatest new technologies in whatever industry we're talking about, whether it's electrical, plumbing, sheet metal. And we invest millions of dollars in this, right? And to note that when they go through this apprenticeship program, I mean, they're going to get, in those 4 or 5 years, they're going to get about a $40,000 worth of education that they don't have to pay back, right? And that's the reason why we demand that wage demand, because you're getting an educated individual that's an expert in that craft. So, and that's kind of, I'll put my apprenticeship graduation diploma against a Stanford degree any day, I always say, because I mean, it bore well for me, and it does that for a lot of people. It's a great avenue for a lot of individuals wanting change and wanting to reach that middle class dream that we always talk about. We're one of the few entities that still provide that. So I just kind of wanted to just highlight what an actual apprenticeship program is. Great job, Tim.
Thanks. Pat, do you have a question?
I do. I have a couple comments. So you said 12 years of school. Does that mean they have to come with a GED or a diploma?
Yes, so they have to have a diploma or equivalency to join our program. Yes.
Okay. I understand why people don't want them to come already with habits because they come with bad habits. Hard to break them. The other thing was, okay, so, you know, I work with a lot of unhoused folks. So what if they're unhoused, but they want to work?
Yeah, I mean, we
RTD or will you take them unhoused?
Yeah, it's a case by case basis. Our philosophy is that we want to help individuals with as many barriers as possible get through this, but we also have a limited number of spaces. So we kind of are always doing this balance between, it doesn't serve anyone if we have somebody in the program that doesn't complete it. Because we only have so many spots for this, and that means somebody that and we typically have about 200 applicants for our 15-person apprenticeship readiness class. So we have had individuals that were experiencing homelessness that kind of also had but they also kind of had family, and they might have had a car that worked. So like there's a few of the boxes were checked, and and through the interview, we're like, we think this can work, but it's just pretty hard to show up, on time every day, not just for our class, but to get to work, with someone who's experiencing homelessness. So we are always like, when that happens, like we are always trying to figure out ways to help not just homeless people. I mean, foster youth or veterans is a good. We're actually just starting a brand new program, like literally right now, to do stronger outreach to veterans and make sure that they understand that these career opportunities are available. So we want to do as much as we can to help people that need it, but there are practical limitations given that we need to make sure that people do succeed. So it's harder for sure, but they're certainly eligible to apply, and we do our best.
One more question. Do they have to do practicums or interim hours? Because I need a lot of plumbing done for my house, and I'm volunteering it if you can.
We'll let you know if that comes up for you.
I think that's the difference. Is this is not an internship, right? This is actually on the job training, right? And I think that's one of the biggest differences between an internship and the apprenticeship program. That once you get into one of these programs, you're going to have a full-time job with benefits, minimum 40 hours, if not more, and then have an educational component tied to it.
Music, but for snap counts, so we can practice all the different calls in a
Hey,
range.
Harry, would you mind muting?
Fun of this Alabama player.
Yeah, and I think another
Thanks.
to add to Raul's point, people might think of plumbing as your commercial plumber that might come to your house and help, but when we're talking about this, we're talking industrial, we're talking construction, building schools and building parks and building port facilities and what have you. So it's again, there's a reason that we have 4-year training programs and are able to have the wage and benefit packages that we do, because this is really highly skilled, highly trained work.
No harm in trying.
Mary Elizabeth?
I'm gonna be Burgoyne.
There you go.
If the so you brought up the issue of the agreements, and one thing that I see happen is on environmental projects is there'll be a trades group hire an attorney very skilled, that, you know, is able to look through an environmental document and, you know, really bring to light a lot of the problems. And, but as soon as once that's done, then, oh, you know, maybe we do want to have an agreement, and, you know, then they have an agreement. And then what happens is, instead of, you know, that group, you know, continuing to, you know, put forth the, you know, the righteous wrongs with the project that, you know, they rightly, you know, documented and evidenced in their letter, you know, they come supporting the project. And, you know, that's just something that is very sad. But since you brought up the agreement, you know, that's something that it would be helpful if, instead of, you know, turning out in mass to a public hearing after the agreement has been won, and documenting all of the harms that the community will encounter, you know, instead to just be silent. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I would also say I had the opportunity to go out to one of the training sessions for some of the high school students. I think it was at the Stockton Fairgrounds last year. And just to see all the students that were out there having that opportunity to get hands-on experience with, whether it was welding or carpentry, electrician. I mean, it was really cool to see the students and really engaged in trying out these new or trying out some of the opportunities there. And so these guys do a great job of getting in front of the community and these kids to show them the pathway that's there. And that's similar to what we want to kind of do with the port, is really start showing some of the youth around Stockton that there are futures and opportunities right here in your backyard. So yeah, great work on that, Tim and Raul. You guys have done a great job there.
Yeah, and I'll just tell everybody the whole story of that event, because it's one of our better ones. Well, it's a really good one. But yeah, you just kind of got so there's a reason that we have 200 applicants. We do a lot of outreach to the community, and this is probably our biggest event, where we partner with the San Joaquin County Office of Education to bring, I think this year in November, we're going to have 1,200 high school students from around the county come to the fairgrounds, where this is in partnership with the Area Apprenticeship Association, where we will have all of our programs, and even a lot of the contractors will have live demonstrations and like really hands-on things that all of these students can do. And it's really cool because, I mean, y'all know kids these days, they come in too cool for school, you know, and then after they've done a couple of the activities, they're just like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I mean, they literally get to solder and wire things and turn switches, and they work and the light comes on. And so yeah, it's one of the many things we do. We're really focused on high school students. We want to do middle school and elementary as we grow capacity. We think the earlier individuals learn about these career opportunities, the better. But that's all part of, you know, our desire to make sure that that individuals that haven't heard about these great career opportunities in the past do. And we really appreciate our partnership with the Office of Education and many of the local school districts as well.
Any other questions for Tim or Raul? Thoughts? Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it. It's great information. You know, we see what you guys are doing for Stockton, and you know, we would love to have enough projects here to keep you guys busy so you don't have to travel. But it's great. We appreciate meeting with you guys as we do regularly, and thank you for sharing today.
Thank you, and thanks everybody for listening. We really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And then, so we've just got a couple more minutes left. I did want to Mary Elizabeth had brought up some violations from a few port tenants at the last meeting, and I said that I would follow up on them. It looks like there's at least one in May from Lowe's, and then Wilmar Calamco, and these are all similar violations. So I unfortunately didn't get a chance to follow up with the tenants, but I will do that before the next meeting and report back as to what the issue was and why. And we could also talk about whether or not there was an air quality impact, or if it was just a reporting or a bookkeeping error or something like that. So we will definitely follow up with that. And then I just wanted to take a quick second. If anybody has any other ideas for future meeting topics, if you wanted to throw them out now, we would entertain those. And if not, then we will say goodnight. Does anybody have any ideas for other future? Strategic planning. Great job. Yes. So that is something we are going through currently. We spent a good deal of time actually today working on our strategic plan. And we're at a very high level right now, but we will put something together and bring back to this group that that we can talk about, digest, and work through here as well. So Kirk, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say about the strategic plan process, or yes, thank you, SB. Good to see you. Is there anything you wanted to talk about with the strategic plan? I see you came off mute. I can't hear you. Sorry. Well, he may have you having some technical issues.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got
Okay,
you.
yeah. No, just we'll get the core values out shortly, like we talked about today, and then we'll get the full framework and plan out soon thereafter.
Yeah, and there are plans in place for external coordination and things like that. So we will definitely give an update on that at the next meeting as well. All right. Well, thank you all. We appreciate your time as always, and look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much.
Thanks all.